Now, the identity of the second attacker at the church in Rouen in France has been disclosed. He's been identified as Abdel Malik Nabil Petitjean. In a video, both Petitjean and Abdel Kamish pledged allegiance to Daesh. More arrests have been made in the ongoing investigation into the attack in which a 84-year-old priest was murdered. Well, for more, we can speak to Sarah Morice, who's following events for her. Hello to you, Sarah. So what more do we know at this point about the second attacker?
Well, we know that it's taken a very long time to identify him because when he fled the church after the attack, he was shot in the face several times by police and they couldn't visually identify him. However, a strand of DNA from his mother has now allowed for official identification, and as you say, he has been identified as 19-year-old, as the 19-year-old you were speaking about there. But what more we've learned is quite interesting. He was on the country's terror watch list, and that is because he tried to travel to Syria about a month ago via Turkey. And also there was an official alert put out saying that he was prepared to take part in a terror attack, and that alert went out just 4 days ago, 4 days before the attack, and we understand that police were actually hunting for him. Now, despite all this, he wasn't actually a convicted criminal at all. He was still awaiting trial on these so-called possible terror links. So that's interesting in itself. We also understand his ID was found at his fellow attacker's house, Abdel Malik, and on top of that we know he was a French-born man. So these are all piecing together clues in the puzzle as to why this attack happened. Very interestingly, here in France, although officials are naming these two attackers, a lot of the French media have banded together and have decided not to name these people. They don't want them to be seen perhaps as heroes posthumously in their death after the event.
And Sarah, now that the second attacker has been identified, are we expecting a further response from the government?
Yes, normally under these circumstances the government certainly would have to respond, and there's questions to be asked because now this is the second attacker that had been known to authorities before the attack took place. He's the second attacker to be on the country's terror watch list as well, and a lot of people want to know how people on the terrorist watch list can possibly be roaming around and free to carry out such an attack as they did. Interestingly, the attack, or rather this attacker and the terror watch list he was on, there's about 10,000 other people on that watch list. And so for police, it's actually a very hard job to physically monitor every single person that's on that list. Nonetheless, they will have to face the public and explain why this man was perhaps on the loose. Now, when it comes to the public, they're still very much mourning here in Rouen for the priest that was lost and for the fact that terror has come to their soil. Here at this cathedral behind me, there's going to be a mass held in the honour of the priest who was killed in the attack, and also later this afternoon, there's going to be a community march, a rally, but it's a peace march rather than a protest or anything like that. But the community is coming together now and mourning what they've lost.
Okay, well, Sarah Morice, for us in Rouen, thank you for now.